What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new rebuild, and today it is going to be Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to be rebuilding them over 5 years with the aim to win every German trophy possible and, of course, win a Champions League. It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. They've got a decent squad, and we're using an amazing tactic of mine. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, if you do want to leave any comments, you can do so below on any teams you want to see in the future. The person that keeps commenting Ajax, don't worry, I've got you coming up soon. So, Bayer Leverkusen actually in this game have got a lot going for them. A 4-star reputation, 4-star training, 3.5-star youth, and 3.5-star youth recruitment. The owners, they absolutely love the club, and the money isn't looking too shabby either. Now, of course, Bayer Leverkusen went on that incredible invincible run last year, where they did pick up, of course, the Bundesliga title, 1 Europa League as well, 2 Pokals, and 4 other German trophies. I can't count. But as you can see, this season hasn't been as good, I will be honest, but of course, you are never going to replicate a season like they done last year, because everything it was working for them. They didn't get lucky, but they were always getting the last minute goal. They were putting on some really big displays. This year hasn't been awful, but nowhere near to the same standard. So I thought, you know what, let's go and rebuild them. If you are playing back home, you would have a budget of 6.8 million. Of course, we do not sign any players in the first season. Tactic-wise, we are going to be using my old Xabi Alonso 4231. Again, you can pick up this over on the Patreon alongside of this rebuild file. So if you are interested, I'll pop a little thing up on the screen now of all the perks that Patreons do get. But we are going to be using this and slightly moulding it. Usually the one change I do 3 or 4 years in is change this register into like another ball-winning midfield player or a DLP, for example, and double up on the playmakers. But what I will say is their team is looking beautiful. This is my favourite player, one of my favourite players in the game. Florian Wirtz, an absolute baller, incredible player, versatile, young, tons of potential, and also when I pick a team and I want to have some incredible wingbacks, can you go anywhere else? Grimaldo, absolutely incredible on the left. Yes, he's a little bit older, but still got 3 or 4 years in him. And I mean Jeremy Frimpong, one of the most sought after players in world football. I absolutely love this partnership. You've got Tar, you've got Hinsapi at the back. Obviously, you've got Xhaka, who I think's underrated. He's putting in a shift at the age of 31. You've got the likes of Adli, Mukelele on loan. Boniface, let's not forget about Big Victor, because he can score some goals. And we have also got the likes of Teller, who again, in my opinion, a little bit underrated because he moulds himself into most systems. But we are going to be deploying this 4-2-3-1 in our first season, of course, again, with 0-0 signings. And what I will say is, if we go over to the competitions, we are playing in 4. The Bundesliga, the Champions League, the Pokal, and the German Super Cup. And they are predicting a finish of around about 3rd place. Now, what I will say is, because we've not made any signings, and I know that I have got the latest database, Bayern obviously now have the likes of Kane, they've got some big players and a lot of top players. I'm not feeling the Bundesliga win in Season 1, but hopefully we can at least attempt to win it, if not win, for example, well, take the Champions League, but the Pokal and the German Super Cup. I'm happy to have sort of an entry season to get the players used to my style. Let's get into Season 1, see what we've done. The first bit of action is that Europa League final against Tottenham Hotspur, where we actually go 1-0 up inside of 3 minutes, and it is going to be Hinsapi, the left back, coming in and making a great goal there. But unfortunately, Tottenham are going to equalise with a set piece in James Maddison getting the goal in 88 minutes. But 102 minutes on the clock, Xhaka is going to find our fullback, who's going to cut inside, go alone. It's very lucky to make it 2-1 in the 103rd minute, and we wrap up the Europa League trophy with a set piece of our own. Trophy 1. We are also going to pick up the Pokal win over Bayern 3-2, one of the best teams in Germany. We've demolished them. We also lift that German Super Cup 4-0 against Stuttgart. Now, I will say, obviously you can look right away, the Champions League didn't go too pretty, to be honest. I mean, Sturm got absolutely humiliated, but we didn't make it out, but we do go on to win some European trophy. The Bundesliga is going to be a 2nd place finish, as expected, only 1 point behind RB Leipzig. If you watch this channel, I love my RB Leipzig, so that's nice to see. Have they still got the same man in charge? They have Marco Rose, so a very good season from them. We were 1 point behind, otherwise we would have done the quadruple in Season 1. But of course, what we want to try and do is win everything as one big whole, and turn this not only into a the best German team, but the best European team in a season, and that's exactly the aim we're going to do, which of course you can't claim if you win Europa League, you need to win the Champions League. Now I will say, stats-wise, let's go and have a little browse. It's going to be Schlick coming in with 33 goals, 19 for Florian Wirtz and 14 assists, 17 for coming in there for Martin, Adley with 10 goals from right back for big Jeremy Frimpong, Tapsoba, 9 from set pieces, and assists, we have got a beautiful selection of players that are contributing big time. Now, when it comes down to the player of the season, it's actually going to go to Jeremy Frimpong, dropping a 7.53 average, which is really, really impressive. And again, he is in contract for quite some time, so we do not need to worry a single bit about his future at this club. Unfortunately, that's not the same for a lot of these players. So we're going to worry about 2025 upwards, where we have got the likes, if I go back off him, sorry, we have got the likes of Yilmaz, he can go, Emmanuel Frimpong can go, so can he, so can he. Okay, so really the only real big decisions are we going to offer Tar another contract, and are we going to make Mukalele permanent? So I don't think he is at the moment. He's on loan. So that is going to be decisions. And we have got a budget of 44 million. I don't mind that, a little bit more actually. 50 million pounds to go and spend. So if we did want Mukalele, for example, he would cost us a total... Okay, so he's not coming anyway. He didn't even enjoy his time here, so that's fair enough. He's going to be leaving the team, that is for sure. But we can offer Tara a new contract, and realistically, as good as this team has done in Season 1, there are still a lot of areas that need improving. So I wouldn't say we've got world-class wingers. I would say Palacios isn't a good enough midfield player, despite being semi-decent. Goalkeeper as well, although we have got Kovar, so we have got to remember that. But let's go over to Season 2, spend the 50 million, but as seasons go, a treble-winning season, I'll take in Season 1. It's a good start. Fortunately, Jonathan Tah didn't want a new contract, and I couldn't get anything for him. He goes to free to Newcastle, where he does play almost, or pretty much every game. He stayed fit, fair play to them, 6.95 on the average rating, and it is a big loss, to be honest with you, but sometimes you simply can't let players go. You can't keep them happy. They go on the free. You can't even get $1 million for them. It's heartbreak. How much did we pay for him? We actually paid it's not the end of the world. 5 million. It sounds a lot, but there's bigger fish to fry. Place him, sign him one, and there's a little bit of instalment action coming in. That is going to be Fiata coming in from Frankfurt. So again, weaken another team in that league, obviously on loan from Rennes. We pay 45 million, where he only played 22 games. He was favoured to be in the 11, but he did pick up a big injury midway through the season. But he did do quite well. 4 goals from set pieces as well, so that's really good to see. We wanted to strengthen the left back position by bringing in someone that can not necessarily compete for Grimaldo, but definitely get into the team and at least offer something, and that is going to be Hartmann coming in from Feyenoord. He gets 10 games, he scores a goal, drops a 7, 26 million pounds. It wasn't easy to find many wing-backs that wanted to join and be happy for being a bit of a backup player, so at the end of the day, I'll take it because at least he's doing something. Is it my first choice? No. Does he look quite good? Yes. And lastly, it is going to be the man who has been at multiple clubs and has never really worked out, but for us, a leading Bundesliga player, Jedson Fernandez. Now, he looks incredibly well-rounded, and he can play in any position in midfield, in centrally, or in the deeper areas. He's 27, so on the older side a little bit. He is on a fair bit per week, but we only paid 25 million, and he played 24 games, so partly just over half the games, and of course 7.12 when it comes to the average rating. So I would argue not a bad signing. Not the best of the best, but if you look at the players we've brought in, I would say you can't really say we've not strengthened. We do lose a couple more players here. Marcenic goes to Schalke, and of course Petak there goes to Paderborn. Nothing really to worry about, but I would say we have strengthened another good midfielder, a first team centre back, although he did have an injury, and Hartmann as a backup left back. I think we're spent wisely. Let's go and see if them signings have won us the Bundesliga. So a few signings makes all the difference, they say, and it has done for us. We go invincible, 30 wins and 4 draws. Schlick comes in with second top goal scorer. Frimpong and Ronaldo and Florian Wirtz, the star trio, dominate the assists. First and joint second there. We've got our goalkeeper picking up the most clean sheets, and do you know what? I am confident we have won something else as well, because this is a remarkable, invincible season, and finally, we are back on top. Leipzig can have one, we're now going to try and take the rest. We can win this one and 3 others, meaning we can achieve 4 out of 5 seasons in this video, and I'm coming for the lot. I was right, we also do win another Pokal trophy here with Xhaka picking up the ball, backstick into Schick, and you know what? This was quite a comfortable game. I won't hide the fact in that we actually find ourselves 2-0 up here inside of 31 minutes with Jedson Fernandez getting his goal there into Xhaka, into Grimaldo, little cut inside, back into Xhaka to make it 3, and there's time for one more to wrap up the game, don't you worry. Palacios into Xhaka, into Wirtz, into Frimpong. It's liquid, and it's not all that we won. We also are going to win the European South American Club Challenge. Sounds like a happy meal. Don't know what it is, but we'll take it. A 5-1 win. The Super Cup, we are also going to just beat Man City 1-0, but I will take beating Man City however it comes. And also the German Super Cup runners-up, RB Leipzig, are strong in that competition. But again, I will say 1, 2, 3. A treble winning season. The Champions League doesn't actually say what we've done, so we are going to go to the schedule and look. You can see we were very, very solid here, but we bail out in the quarterfinals here against Lazio. So, I mean, well, actually, no, we don't. I'm completely blind. The semi-finals here against AC Milan. So, unfortunately, they were a little bit too strong on the day, but it is what it is. We are noticing big improvements as it goes on, and what I will say is a treble. Actually, I am completely blind. It's actually a lot more than the treble. It's a quadruple. I just don't usually include this because I think it's quite an easy competition. But we'll take it regardless, treble or quadruple. And goals being scored, 38 coming in there for Patrick again. We've got Martin with 30 as well, who, by the way, I just did not even talk about. He's a really good, versatile player. You've got Florian Wirtz with 20, 13 for Hoffman, Tapsoba with 13, 10 for Boniface, and assist-wise, can we get a like on the video right now for Mr. Jeremy Frimpong? Come to Manchester United, you won't regret it. I absolutely would do anything to see him at the club. What a player. Florian Wirtz as well, incredible. Grimaldo, incredible. Hoffman at the age of 33, still doing Hoffman things. And I will say, the best player, again, based off the average rating, is going to be Jeremy Frimpong. He's contributing more than anyone can imagine. And this team now, I'll tell you what, I look at it and we are getting better and better. So, for example, the goalkeeper is still an issue. Not an issue, but because he is keeping the most clean sheets, but he's not going to last forever. And then it depends whether Kovar is going to be, you know, ready to step up into his shoes. Wing-backs, we're completely fine. We've got Frimpong, maybe a better backup right back, potentially could be a shout. Centre-backs, we've obviously got Fiata, we've got Tapsoba, we have got Kasanu, we have also got one player up here I forgot. We've got Hinsepe, who can play left-back. Midfield maybe can do with a little bit of investment for backup and potential first team. Overall, we're building a good project here, and we're winning while we're building, so you can't really complain. But going into that 3rd season, we have got pretty much a copy and pasted budget, £45 million again. Let's go and see exactly what we can do with 45 million, because I'm quite excited. So I actually do like this player in real life, but in the game he wasn't really performing that well, didn't really suit the system, and we do actually cash in £26.5 million for Nathan Tella, turning a profit on what we paid from Southampton. He does go and have a decent season in the Premier League, which I am honestly happy for him because he is a really good player, but he did not fit in, he wasn't getting played, and when you're getting nearly 27 million, you've got to cash in. Signing one and a signing on the free is a backup to Florian Wirtz, a very good backup. Lazar Samardzic coming in from the likes of Udinese on the free. He only played 2 games, so he obviously was pure backup, and there are other players that can play in Wirtz's position, so maybe he is going to be a heavy rotation player, but considering we can still sell him for 50 million, even if that is the option we go down, it was worth the free signing. A loan option, but he is joining on the permanent, is going to be Mathys Tel. Coming in from FC Bayern, incredibly versatile, can play on the left, on the right, up front, only 22 years of age. He is rapid, he's got good finishing, his composure needs a little bit of work, but other than that, he is absolutely remarkable. He come in and actually played 10 games where he dropped 2 assists and getting 1 player of the match. For a player on loan that obviously didn't play a lot, that's actually quite good. Also strengthen again on the wings, bringing in Marcus Edwards as a player who potentially will get right into the team on the right-hand side. A leading Bundesliga player, and oh boy, he is brilliant. He is rapid, he's got decent finishing. Again, the composure, a little bit of work is needed, but he's got the dribbling, he's got the technique, he's got the first touch. He's very good on the left and on the right, and he comes in 22 million, and he has a stellar season. 30 appearances, 15 goals, 6 assists, 1 player of the match, and a 7.25 average rating. As it goes, you're not going to find many better signings than that. For that price tag, that is potentially the signing of the rebuild so far. Or is it? As we do spend big to attract this player, and a lot was done in the instalments, but of course that telesale did help us. We are going to bring in Thuram, coming in from AS Monaco. We pay 50 million, where he comes in and actually only plays 13 appearances. And no, it's not because he's a bad player, it's because he was injured to absolute oblivion. So he's a remarkable player, an insane player who would get into the team, but we've spent big and we've been punished by the FM injuries. It happens all the time, but do you know what? He has still held his own. He's still got the same sort of attributes. He's still a 4-star player. I think he will come alive next year. Fingers crossed he does not have any more injuries. But looking at the signings we have done, we've lost a couple more players here who aren't really that much of a big deal, but we have brought in 4 incredible players. I'll say 3 because Lazar is purely backup, but I will say Tell is definitely going to be one for the future. Thuram is one for the present, and Edwards is also. Let's go and see what we've done in Season 3. I'm feeling back-to-back titles. I'm honestly feeling it. And that's exactly what we've done, guys. We didn't go invincible, I will be honest. We draw 7 and lose 2, and Dortmund are breathing down our necks. Bayern all the way down in 4th place. RB Leipzig remains somewhat consistent. Schlick again comes in with the top goal scorer. Frimpong, best average rating across the league. Best assists as well. And our goalkeeper, Haradecki, who is still currently, how old is he? 37. He is picking up the most clean sheets. So do you know what? Fair play to him. It's a good Bundesliga season, and we are slowly becoming the best team in Germany. It is going to be another Pokal trophy coming back to Leverkusen, though, as we are going to find our first goal here with Frimpong on the volley inside of 43 minutes, and the second goal just after half the time with Edwards into Florian Wirtz. Thank you very much. Be rude not to also lift the German Super Cup, meaning so far it is a treble, but did we win the Champions League? We didn't. We are going to get knocked out in the quarterfinals against Real Madrid. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a stuffing as well. 5-1 over 2 legs. But do you know what? Again, I'm not going to complain because we're only in Season 3. I've not had a real landmark in terms of improving the entire team yet. We're doing it bit by bit, and we're winning trebles while we're doing it. So you can't really complain. And do you know what? The Champions League, of course, now is the ultimate goal. But I'm looking at what we're doing, and we are really dominating not only the league now, but both of the German Cups. And as a squad, it is going to be 31 from Schlick again. The Marcus Edwards, I want to give player of the season to, but I guarantee it's going to be Mr. Jeremy Frimpong again with 22 assists. But a remarkable season coming in for Martin as well. Florian Wirtz, a bit of a quieter season. Tapsoba, 10 goals. That's why you need the set pieces. And assist-wise, again, 22 and 20, 16, 11, 11, 9. It's absolutely incredible scenes. And what I have got to do now is pay attention to the contracts, because we have got a budget, again, it's very consistent, a little bit more this season, actually. We've got £63 million to go and spend, but contracts. So here we go. We can, some are expired now almost. All of these can go. Tell's staying. Schlick needs a new contract. But he's retiring actually. So Haradecki is going to be leaving. Adley, very underperforming. I might try and cash in on him if I can. Boniface, very quiet. But again, we've got 2 other real bagsmans in this team. But I will offer him a new contract, although he's wanted by a Saudi team, I believe. Grimaldo, despite him being wanted by... Oh no, he's not. Is devastated. He should have got in, to be honest. But I will say Grimaldo will get a new contract. He can go. Hoffman is 34 and also wanted again by one of those teams, so he potentially can go. Xhaka I want to keep purely because he feels like part of the furniture now. He can go. and then we're in 2028. So we have got a lot of contracts to deal with, and it is not going to be easy. I can guarantee some of those names I've just said I want to keep probably will leave because they're either unhappy or they got a better offer or something like that. So we'll see what we can do. But realistically, with £63 million, all I can say to you now is I am going to try and just carry on doing what I'm doing. Improve bit by bit. I have changed his tactic a little bit. For example, I have now got a ball-winning midfield player in Thuram, so that should be a little bit better suited. I might also change Frimpong to a supportive role, so he's not too attacking against some of the big boys in the Champions League. But let's go over and see what we can do in the next season. We've got a little bit of money. I think we can carry on improving. If you are enjoying so far, by the way, please do leave a like and smash that subscribe button. Nearly forgot. Let's get into the next season. Of course, signing one was a player we already know that is going to come, but just to show you and make it clear, 18.7 million is going to be the fee we paid for him in total, and he definitely had a better second season at the club. So far, so good. Also are going to spend big on a goalkeeper because Kovar isn't really cutting the mustard too much. Well, we'll see what happened. He did play pretty much all of the games. He kept a clean sheet in half the games he played, so that's actually quite a good record, to be fair. 7.10 on the average rating. He looks solid. He was a lot of money, but goalkeepers are in Football Manager. He is 30 as well, but again, I will try and make an effort to keep coming out of holiday and locking Kovar for a few games, which hopefully he can then develop a little bit better. But do you know what? For now, it's a decent signing. And lastly, and probably the last midfield signing you'll see this rebuild, is going to be Rodrigo Villagra, coming in from the likes of Tottenham for 34 million. He come in, dropped 28 appearances, and he is not going to have attractive stats because I imagine he is playing in that ball in midfield role, and Thuram is out on the left-hand side now. He's come in, played almost every game, which is a big sign that he is a good fit player that stays fit, and he dropped a decent average rating. So do you know what? Welcome in, Rodrigo. You have done your job very well, and these three signings, well, two new signings, are going to be the only signings we have done because we didn't have an endless budget to spend. A couple more players leave on the free, but nothing to write home about. I don't know how much this improves us for the Champions League. Only time will tell. Well, unfortunately, in the Champions League, I may as well just play a highlight reel because it is going to be another exit in the quarterfinals against Madrid, against Man City, this time only by 1 goal. So you could argue that we are slowly closing the gap from how we perform against these big teams, but still, it's the quarterfinals. Be another Pokal final against Borussia Mönchengladbach on this occasion, where we start off hot inside of 17 minutes there with Florian Wirtz. Tapsoba plays it into the new man, into Frimpong, goes down the line, and it is going to be Wirtz again to make it 2 in 20 minutes, and you know there's more in the tank. Frimpong down the right hand side in the middle into Terrier to make it 3-0, and we go and make it 4 6 minutes after. Frimpong right into Schlick, who makes it 4, and there's time for 5, a 5-0 win, another Pokal. It's too easy. Also are going to lift the Super Cup in a very boring game, which we do it on penalties. But more importantly, we are going to be your Bundesliga champions 3 years back to back. And this time, a bit more of a point advantage over second place. I will say, none of our players in the top goal scorer. A little bit worried. Our new goalkeeper, most clean sheets, joint with Hoffman. Frimpong is still doing his stuff when it comes to the assists. And Florian Wirtz as well, the third best player overall. But the goal scoring has gone. And if we actually look right now, we are still the best. So it's not like a big worry, but it is a little bit considering we had it for every single season. The goals have quietened down a little bit, but still, Schlick's doing his thing with 27. Martin is with 25, 18 for Wirtz. Tapsoba coming in there with 15. Edwards has had a big drop-off, and I will say, he has definitely picked up an injury somewhere because he's played a lot less games and he was hot in form. Assists-wise, you've got 29 for Frimpong. This man he's absolutely incredible, and I will say, we have also kept him on that attacking duty to make that very clear. But going into this last season, I'm hoping we've got a big budget because, of course, we usually do 5 seasons on this channel. If you do ever want to see longer ones, please do let me know as well, and I will make that happen. But for me, I'm going to go all in to try and win a Champions League now. And if that means we lose a Bundesliga title, we lose a Bundesliga title. For me, I feel like I've only completed this rebuild by winning them everything in Germany, which I've done consistently. But the Champions League needs to happen. If we tick that box, we've won the Europa League, a Super Cup. We've won all the German trophies multiple times. And that would just tick that box off. And we have got a budget of 4.8. That clearly is not updated, so that's a little bit of a shame, because if it was 4.8 million, I would be absolutely panicking. So I'm not sure exactly how much you're going to have right now, but I guess that'll be more of a surprise for you when we get into the transfers. So let's go over to the last season, do the transfers, but realistically, I'm just going to try and bring in some big names because I'm questioning whether we just need to focus on players that are already pre-built to try and get this Champions League. Let's go and do it. Signing one is going to be Sergio Camelo, coming in from the likes of Getafe. He come in and actually played 28 games and dropped 16 goals and 1 assist. So he has come in and played a lot of first team football. And I'll be honest, I was just realising Schlick was slowly coming off a little bit. So I wanted to have a little bit more firepower in because Boniface was not doing it at all. And this was just part of the new attack and line. So let me go over and show you the last signing of this rebuild. That was Ansu Fati. Now he cost me a fair buck. £51 million for a star Bundesliga player who is still only 26. He's rapid, good finishing, good composure, good determination, good flair, good off the ball work, good technique, good vision, pretty much good everything. And what I will say is right now, he come in and he actually... Oh, okay. He didn't do too well. I was expected to say, do you know what, guys? That's why we've done so well. He come in and played 29 appearances, 7 goals and 3 assists. So he done average at best, I would say, which I'm quite nervous about because I don't think we've won the Champions League. A player like this needs to be scoring a fair few amount of goals, and I'm quite worried now. It was a punt taking the risk, and as you can see, that is the only business we done, with Tim obviously going out on the free as well. But Camelo's done incredible, Fati not so much. Let's just go and see what we've done, because honestly, I think it's in God's hands now. Well, to start off the last season, we have won the Super Cup against Dortmund 3-0. That's one small positive. Was quite embarrassing, and this is what is worrying me now, because the third round we're going to exit to Schalke 1-0. That's not happening in the last seasons. What has happened? But we do make it to the Champions League final against PSG. So not an easy job. Edwards is going to go through into Florian Wirtz to make it 1-0 inside of 10 minutes. And you know what? This was a very, very lively start. Unfortunately for us, the nerves got to this team and they did big time. Mendes puts a ball in and it is going to be an own goal there coming in from the likes of Fernandes. And it's just not acceptable. Frimpong then is going to go down the right-hand side, plays it into Xhaka, into Edwards. And you know what? Ansu Fati, one of 9 goals in the season, was a very important one. So you know what? Thank you, Fati. And we do actually win the Champions League with this team. And Edwards is the man that gets it done. And yeah, we're also going to wrap up with a final Bundesliga title, meaning the last 4 we have won. The only one we didn't win was that first season. And again, not a player scoring the most amount of goals either. So it proves we've got a nice core set of players that are contributing very, very well. But what I will say is we have wrapped up with exactly what I wanted to do. The only thing I have not done is win it all in the same season. So again, if you have enjoyed the sort of team you've seen me build, you like the tactic, you can get all of these rebuild files over on my Patreon in the link below, where your challenge today is to win the quadruple in 2 seasons. You can sign who you want without the editor and try and win the quadruple. But for me, I'm going to take this because we've done the challenge. The club info now is going to look very, very nice as we can go to the overview and look at 1 Champions League they didn't have. 5 Bundesliga titles, 4 I won. 2 European leagues, we've done one of them. The Super Cup, 6 Pokals. This trophy, the Super Cups, we have done incredibly well. And we're going to sign off as well, looking at the team and also looking at some of the first team player stats. We can see here, Frimpong signed off with 20 assists in his final season. You've then got 8 goals for Tapsoba, 4 for Viata. Again, them set pieces doing bits. Grimaldo with 13, 26 and 16 assists for Edwards. Had an incredible last season. 13 and 13 for Wirtz. Fati didn't do... Do you know what? I went harsh on him. He had a decent first season. Camelo had a great season. And even 11 goals here from Hoffman. So, do you know what? I think we have done very, very well. And the player of the rebuild for me, you might think I'm going to go with a goal scorer, but it's got to be Jeremy Frimpong. He has been so good every single season. He is literally one of the best players I've used, I think, at right back. I would also say for the last season, I did drop him back to support, which has clearly helped in the Champions League because we weren't as attacking down that right-hand side. But if you are going to carry on back home, you've got a challenge set for you. You've got 46 million, a bit more than... Oh, hang on. You've got 57 million pounds to spend. You've got a very, very decent team with still some young and older players, a nice mixture, and a big challenge at your hands as well. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Up the Leverkusen. I'll see you in the next one.